See, the Miami Dolphins made some moves yesterday. They made some moves today. We'll talk about yesterday's moves first. Moving Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith and a 2027 seventh, so not next year 7th, to the Steelers, receiving back a shocker of Mika Fitzpatrick and a 6th.
No,
now,
fifth.
a fifth. I'm thinking of today's move. I'm getting all befuddled.
You're all caught up in all those late round draft picks that are going to make a difference.
Exactly. You never know. We're going to find a Tom Brady at the end of some of these drafts. We're going to start with the guy who's wearing his jersey, TD Finstock. What do you think about that move that the Miami Dolphins made yesterday? It was just trickle too, because I was even watching a live stream. One point we heard Ramsey's traded. Then we heard it's for Mika.
No,
and then we heard
no. We heard Ramsey's traded. We heard Jonnu is also part of this trade. And then we heard,
Mika
by the way, you're getting Mika Fitzpatrick.
So, T, what's your thoughts on this whole thing?
Hey, baby, we back, baby. Super Bowl, baby. I'm just playing. All right. So this was an interesting move. I've really been more so paying attention to people's reaction to this move. And I want to stop for a second and tell everybody out there, y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping big time. It's actually insane to me, you know, what how people are not even overreacting, how they're just reacting to this move. I love it. First of all, let me get that straight now. I love it. People are upset that we got rid of Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu. Jalen was gone.
Yeah.
He was gone regardless. So don't consider that into this, okay? Stop putting that as a part of it. He was going to be gone. Now, the compensation and stuff, that's the consideration. But your attitude about what we traded, that is crazy to me, all right? All right, you lose a good player in the secondary, but you weren't going to be able to keep him, all right? But you gain a great player in the secondary that you might be able to keep. We'll talk about that too, my piece on that. But well, I gotta say something real quick to you three gentlemen. Maybe I was the only one about a week and a half ago that said Jonnu's gone. Jonnu's gone.
Jonnu should be gone.
He's gone, and he should be, in my opinion. But I think he's gone based off of all of the evidence, okay, that's surrounding the team. They're not going to pay him what he wanted, okay? I was an individual who said, I mean, we could talk around 7 or 8, but when we get to that extra digit, it's not happening. I thought at best he'd get 11, he got 12. That would never happen. So you could chuck that up to money. You could chuck the same category you chuck up Hunt to, the same category you chuck up Christian Wilkins to. It's a money thing, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm not so concerned because me and Alan, we continue to keep our sentiment that Jonnu, although he was a big part of the offense last year, it's not as impactful as people think because we took a reduction at the receiving core as a compensation for it. And I think we get back to focusing on the receivers at this point, and we'll talk about the Waller thing later. But I don't want to be too long-winded on my take on it, but here's what I would. Well, here's my last take on all of this.
Know, Testy Allen is my favorite Allen.
I like
7 minutes later. I don't want to be too long-winded.
We only been live for 5, so you capping. Anyway, I love the trade. The only thing that's going to make us judge this trade is what the next move is with Minka's contract, because that's going to matter in all of this. Which many people
have him locked up for 2 years, though.
Do you? I see 1 year in. Hey, you better do something now or else. That's what I see.
I mean, or else I could tag you. What there? Listen,
but I don't think he's going to play on no guarantees next year.
I don't disagree with you. However, I want to see you play in this scheme. You with my own eyes before I write you a big fat check. Have we not learned anything?
Yeah. No, they haven't.
have we as a Dolphin fan base, the owner, have we not learned anything about continuing to do this?
But the good thing is there's 2 years. There's 2 years on the contract. You get to see it one and make your decision next year.
No guaranteed money though.
No matter. No. And a player of his
right now he got guarantees on it.
No,
Minka does not.
No, he doesn't.
That's even worse.
That's why but of a player of his caliber, they don't go into next year without guaranteed money, because what happens if I get injured? Then I'm playing for the minimum next year? No, because you cut me to save cap money. So it will be addressed. My only issue is, do not address it until you see him on the field for at least 3 weeks.
But I didn't know he didn't have guaranteed money right now. So you don't think his agent not in that office right now?
Oh yeah. And by the way, this is the same situation Jalen Ramsey was in last year. He had no guaranteed money left, and Jalen had a very unfortunate. What was it, a hamstring injury that really
could have been growing? No, I don't remember what it was.
Like that, but it put the start of his season in jeopardy, and it was a really traumatic time for the Dolphins because, I mean, oh my Lord, is he going to be ready for the season opener? So the Dolphins had to guarantee his contract, and boom, miraculously he recovered.
Healthy.
Then
Jesus came down.
Yeah, that recovery was absolutely
Alan, what's your thoughts on this move, Alan?
Well, again, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of there's no way in hell Jalen Ramsey was coming back to get Minka Fitzpatrick when you were going to have to dump Jalen Ramsey, absolutely 2 thumbs up. But I'm like with TD. If we don't think the agents, like talking to Chris Greer right now, guarantee me some money, I think we're fooling ourselves.
Yeah, but don't you think that was a conversation before the trade was even done?
I don't know.
Steelers probably pulled one on us.
No. Go ahead.
The other point I want to make also is what I saw, and until somebody tells me otherwise, is that Jonnu, the $12 million, is for next year, tacking on to the 4 he was making this year, which becomes very quickly.
Yeah, it's a 1-year extension. Yeah,
12 plus 4.
1-year extension, so he's making $20 million over the next 2 years.
No, he's making
16 million.
Yeah. About 8.5 each.
I thought they said 12 million was what he got signed for.
Correct. And this year
on top of what he already made with us.
Yeah, Jonnu. So it says Jonnu signed a 1-year, $12 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, including an average annual of $12 million. In 2025, Smith will earn his base of 3.4 and a workout bonus of $100,000, which makes him $4 million.
No, I see what Omar's saying. That $12 million already includes it.
Yeah,
that 12 million already.
That's how it was reported. And the other question that wasn't included, I didn't see it, is what the signing bonus was and what the guaranteed money was. So it could be an agent making the deal look really good. I got him a 1-year extension.
Because this is what they're showing on. So it could be, because it's only the contract terms is only 1 year, $12 million.
Oh, this is so fake. I'm looking at it now. This is where I don't even see.
They don't have anything for 2026. If you see on this one, this is.
Okay. You're right. Correct. Okay.
So
I listen, when we get the detail. Here's the bottom line on Jonnu. Dolphins weren't going to give him $12 million.
No,
at all.
Well, they shouldn't.
Yes, and Pittsburgh absolutely desperately wanted him. If you factor in, let's say Jonnu played this year and you lost him next year in free agency. In 2027, you get what back? A 5th-round pick?
Maybe. Depending on what he signed. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Didn't you just get a 5th-round pick or a swap of a 7th for a 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Now, put that over there. Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick. I think Jalen's a superior player, but Minka Fitzpatrick is a good player.
Yeah.
And I'm getting rid of a problem, an expensive problem, which I'm going to take an $18.5 million cap hit over the next 2 years because I screwed up, and I'm paying them $7 million, or giving away $7 million. That's not going to my team. But if you tell me I'm getting Minka Fitzpatrick, I'm good.
Now, this is the thing that I talked about, and it's not crapping on Jonnu, because I notice a lot of times when Dolphin players leave or get traded, some Dolphin fans will just, he was garbage anyway. We didn't need him, blah, blah, blah. No, was Jonnu's production because of the offense? Because if you look at what Jonnu did, 111 targets, had a great year. Let's not, bash him, but is it because of the offense he was put in and because of the targets and the RPOs and the screens and stuff? So it's like,
Doug, I can't answer this because film tells us Omar can't answer this one. But
I love you, TD.
hey, listen.
There's a reason we working together, all right?
Wow, I don't know, but listen.
That's because you did birth reason. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Go ahead, Doug. Omar's foul. Anyway, listen, but the film what the film told me at least is that McDaniel tried something new in the sense of they are always, especially the good teams, they're always bracketing Tyreek and Waddle.
Yes.
You know what? I gotta be more creative and efficient with the offense. I'm going to increase the amount of times that Tua does not look at Tyreek or Waddle first. Jonnu, you're going to be that high. You're going to be that guy where a lot of times the play is dialed up for you. I got the action going one way to get you open right away up the seam. I got action going to back everybody up, and you slip right out of the backfield in the flat, and you take off.
Film.
Hey, man, I suggest you do it, Omar. You should start. But yeah,
Change my life, TD.
But that I personally felt like that was a detriment to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got more production from that position and lost production mightily at the receiver position, not just because of the injury of your quarterback, because even when he played, their production was still down. Tyreek and Waddle's production on average was still down, regardless if Tua played or not. Now, when Tua played, it was higher than those other guys, but it wasn't what it was the previous 2 years of focusing on making sure you get those playmakers the rock. And you also did that with A-Chain. You made him the check down outlet. I'm telling you, the offense was really, hey, y'all be a decoy. We need to figure out a way to make this easier. Instead of force feeding the ball to y'all. It wasn't good for the team.
I agree with you, TD. However, I think we also need to factor in, and I know Alan is going to roll his eyes, Tyreek Hill injuries, the Jalen Waddle injury. Jalen Waddle injuries.
2 for 2, Omar. I'm not my role. You're absolutely right.
Listen, more, in my opinion, more than the change of the offense, and there was an intentional alteration of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like those wide receivers had down years because Miami could not run the ball at all.
Mm-hmm.
Safeties did not have to. Like, safeties could just be back to 13 yards deep. Oh, look, see, there go the eye roll. There you go right there.
No, it's more like the lift.
If you don't respect, what happens when you have a forceful run game? You got to put a safety in the box, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You got to people got to creep up close to the line of scrimmage. That would open up for those two guys. It would also help if you had a third receiver, which they struggled with all of last year until Malik finally, his stones dropped. But to say that Jonnu would not eat if Waddle wasn't Waddle or Tyreek, I think Jonnu was going to eat. I think the guy who should eat less is Achane. Achane catch the ball. I mean, why is a running back being targeted 78 times, being 78 receptions? I don't even know how many targets he had. Like, that to me is 2/3 more than it should be. So,
but Tua, he played. I think Tua made the right decisions a lot of times on the field with that. He's not going to placate into what the defense is taking away. He actually made the smart play. Hey, let me take what they're giving. Take what they're giving. It's just overall the scheme. I mean, teams actually, it hurts too because they're forcing you into that. They'll live with that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's what they wanted you to do. They want you to throw to Jonnu and they want you to throw to Devon instead of throwing to them speedsters. But those speedsters were also not healthy for at least 1/3 of the season. And then for 1/3 of the season, they didn't have their quarterback. And they were raw dogging the offense, to quote Tyreek. It's, and then they had to simplify the offense. Like, you put the motions back in the offense, and that's what I wanted to see Jonnu here, because I wanted to see Tua with a full complement of everything. Give him everything. Give him the line. Give him the run game. Give him the 2 speed receivers. Give him the slot.
Give him the Alabama offense again.
Give him perfection.
Given
Not
perfection.
If you think this
Then-
offensive line is perfection,
No, it's not. I'm just saying that's what we need.
Give him everything. Nobody has everything. Can I address a sidebar on this? Raheem Mostert, what the hell are you talking about? Like, seriously? I mean, come on, man. Name me a Pro Bowler the Dolphins did wrong. What? Because they didn't want to give Jonnu $12 million a year. Jalen Ramsey, they did him wrong.
Didn't they pay Raheem after he went to the Pro Bowl?
They not only did they pay him, they paid him like for past performance, where they gave him like a signing bonus for immediate money, and they structured his contract, which he agreed to include no guaranteed salary in 2025. If he couldn't see that he was getting dumped if he didn't have a big year, particularly after the Dolphins traded up and drafted Jalen Wright, I don't know what the hell he was saying.
No, I think so. I'm glad you said that, Alan. Like, I try to put things together based off of what people say, and you got to look at the tone of what Mostert did. Yes, he agreed to all those contractuals, right? But look at the message, huh?
What choice did he have?
Thank you.
Correct.
But
correct. He didn't have the leverage, and he's a 31-year-old back with a lot of mileage and a lot of injuries. The Dolphins are supposed to give him whatever he wants.
But what he's telling you is he accepted a contract he wasn't happy with.
Then he could have always had the option of refusing it.
The contract wasn't even relevant anyway because they waived him. It was fake money.
I mean, yeah, but before he thought that maybe there was some loyalty and stuff to maybe they can.
Come on, it was a signing bonus for a job well done in 2023 that contained zero guaranteed money in 2025. Which basically
and it's bad to include Jonnu in your message. That it's a totally separate situation. It is not the same.
And Jalen Ramsey
Jonnu a favor
contract twice. Seriously, they mistreated Jalen Ramsey. Really?
I will say, and I've talked to Raheem, and I disagreed with Raheem, and I thought his timing was poor. But I have spent a decade covering this team, talking to players privately, and I've heard the exact same thing. This is the tone of the Dolphins. They would rather pay everybody else than pay their own. That is an issue. You want to talk about building a culture? How about you build a culture with the people that you draft as opposed to letting them go somewhere else? What Raheem said is not wrong, but it's also not right because this organization has worked very hard last year. They know the reputation as well. And they've worked very hard to change that reputation by taking care of their guys. And there's certain people who will tell you they do too much taking care of their guys.
How did that work out?
It did not work out, but it did not. Just because it didn't work out doesn't necessarily mean it's not the right approach. I say the same thing about Mike McDaniel's player empowerment. Just because it didn't work out, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was the right approach. You just had the wrong people. And I will say this.
It's the same thing, though. You take care of your people if they're the right people who would get you where you want to go. Would the Dolphins have been better last year? They had Christian Wilkins, injury aside, and he's still having issues with a Jones fracture. Would they have been better with Robert
Hunt?
Robert Hunt, definitely, yeah.
But
Van Ginkel,
20 mil for
Don't bring up Van Ginkel. That one hurts.
Sean Elliott.
Nah, Sean Elliott was never gonna be.
Well, he didn't want to come back, but still, I'm just saying.
Nah, he didn't. Anyway, I'm not even.
To me, it was a really bad look from Raheem. It was like sour grapes the way that they cut him, and he was pissed off last year. He said that on the podcast that McDaniel didn't talk to him when his role was drastically reduced.
McDaniel should have talked to him.
Sorry,
McDaniel absolutely should have talked to him.
No, I agree.
I were punishing him. You were making an example of him. You should have talked to him.
I agree there. That part of it,
being a team captain, that's the last thing you should have did is basically just shelf him and not even speak to him. That's
Raheem is not a team captain.
Even with the fumbles, have a conversation.
No. Well, guess what? He was in my eyes.
Yeah, no, he was a very good. I don't want to get into that because it's not relevant right now.
Engel was the captain.
Yeah. It's